Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum, dear students. I'm your instructor, facilitator, and mentor, Dr. Aisha Mahmood, and I welcome you all to the last and fourth lecture of week 2 of the online course Introduction to Information Technology. Let me remind you again that you need to study chapter 1 of Teachers Discovering Computers to understand the content of this lecture. After completing this lecture's content, you will be able to describe why it is important for every teacher to have an e-portfolio. You would be able to describe what is professional teaching portfolio, then how to use blogs and websites for e-portfolio, to explore the tools designed for making digital portfolios. When you apply for a teaching job as a new teacher, or if you are applying for a position at a new school, having a professional teaching portfolio is one of the tools that will set you apart from the crowd. Whether you are currently teaching face to face or you get a job teaching online, or a combination of both, you will need to have a professional teaching portfolio that allows you to highlight your instructional credentials and provide a sampling of your work, such as detailing your accomplishments and showcasing your development of content specific course based lessons. Furthermore, it is important that you keep your professional teaching portfolio up to date, even if you have been teaching for many years. An up-to-date teaching professional teaching portfolio just may be your key to job security, and it is essential when you pursue a new job in a different school or district or a province. Today's lecture will help you develop your understanding of what you need to do to create and maintain a professional teaching portfolio. Let's talk about the professional teaching portfolio, what it is. A professional teaching portfolio is also known as e-portfolio, digital portfolio, or e-folio. It is a collection of evidence to document your development and growth in the teaching profession. This collection includes materials and artifacts to document and to provide evidence of your education, background, philosophy, teaching strategies, experience in teaching, lesson plans, your personal achievements, and similar artifacts. For the purpose of this course, we will refer to our professional teaching portfolio as an e-portfolio. Throughout this course, you will see suggestions for items to be included in your e-portfolio, that is your final project of this course. Due to increases in technology tools and digital media resources, teachers in many institutions are interested in seeing not only paper documents but also digital products, multimedia projects, and other types of items in applicants' portfolios that reflect your up-to-date knowledge and skills. Many school administrators feel that a traditional paper portfolio cannot provide enough substance about a potential candidate who wants to enter a field that is striving to meet the needs of today's digital learners, at the same time addressing teaching 21st century skills. You may ask, why you should have a Why you should have an e-portfolio? Okay, let's dig into that. The emergence of virtual learning environments in schools and universities has led to an increased rationale for e-portfolios. An e-portfolio represents a person's individual background, and it should reflect that person's skills, knowledge, and accomplishments. As the result of creating an e-portfolio, many students have a better understanding of their personal philosophy of education, and those are better able to reflect on their learning and teaching goals throughout their schooling and the career. The principal reason for developing your professional e-portfolio is that as you build your e-portfolio, you learn to tell a story about yourself to others. Another benefit is that by digitizing your work and developing and managing your e-portfolio, you are developing hands-on experience with and demonstrating the proficiency with a wide variety of technologies that you can showcase to prospective employers. Similar to traditional paper-based portfolios such as those used in the art world, you should provide evidence of your teaching and learning and your growth through reflection, which leads to a better understanding of learning strategies and students' needs. Your e-portfolio should be an ongoing living resource that documents your professional growth and development throughout your career, reflects the stages of your progress, and continues to record your achievements in the field of teaching and learning. One thing to consider is that you probably will use the materials in your e-portfolio for multiple purposes and for different audiences. So, it is very important that your collection of digital evidence be current and accurately reflect you. Your e-portfolio will change over time as you strengthen your teaching skills, explore new instructional strategies, and evaluate and reflect on students' learning results. You also will have an opportunity to demonstrate your development of different teaching approaches and your assessments of instructional techniques. Such an assembly or collection of these evidence may consist of many different items and categories. However, for the purpose of this course, we are going to discuss the more common items to be included in your e-portfolio. The next slides uh, contain ideas and suggestions to help you develop a successful e-portfolio. An e-portfolio usually opens with your philosophy of education, followed by your resume. It can include reflective essays, presentations, research papers, images, videos, projects, reports, lesson samples, or anything that you feel is relevant to your background story. Letters from students, instructors, and feedback from others make a nice addition to your e-portfolio. Remember, your e-portfolio should provide a snapshot of you and should help you see your personal development over the period of a time. An e-portfolio provides a way to look back and reflect upon what has been accomplished. It provides a way for you to tell a story about yourself. We will now discuss some of the general ideas for setting up your e-portfolio. You need to document your understanding and capacity to integrate the latest standards for technology in education. You should include images, multimedia projects, blogs, wikis, and lesson plans you developed that meet the latest standards that integrate 21st century learning skills for both you and your students. Think of your portfolio as an ongoing project, and if you do so, it will provide you with formal documentation as you transition through various stages of education and employment, and even into retirement. So, in front of you is a table that provides some overarching ideas to consider when putting your e-portfolio together. Let's start with reading out some of the ideas. Be sure that the components of your e-portfolio work well together, both when viewed online or during face-to-face interviews. So your different components that you have already included in your e-portfolio should have different kind of formats. Make sure your e-portfolio has a professional appearance, and you need to make sure that the content is clear, concise, and easy to follow. You need to follow a logical organizational structure. Be sure to include a resume or write-up that summarizes your educational background, your related work experience, multicultural experiences, as well as highlights teaching skills and provides a good vision of accomplishment. It should also provide work that demonstrate uh, attainment of your local standards. Here you have seen IST. We are not following that for Pakistan, but you need to know what kind of technology standards we are following in Pakistan. You also should provide work that shows you have met the content specific standards in your area of specialization. You should also include a rationale of each piece of evidence in your e-portfolio कि क्यों आपने ये चीज include किया है इस e-portfolio में. So there need to be some purpose behind that. You should also provide some essays and other assessments that reveals your growth in teaching strategies and reflect your teaching styles. So every crucial moment of your life should have a reflective note that you need to add in your teaching portfolio. Then you have to have a balance between different types of evidence कि आपने जो क्रॉस रेफरेंस यूज किया है वो appropriate है in terms of evidence or not. Then you have to have some colleague or someone in educational field review your e-portfolio once it is completed in order to provide you with constructive feedback. अब constructive feedback का concept यहाँ पे समझना बहुत ज़रूरी है. देखिए constructive feedback का मतलब ये है कि आप दो चीज़ें बता रहे हैं. एक ये कि what is good about your portfolio, yani what is okay, and what needs to have some kind of improvement. And constructive feedback is basically tells you how to improve it. So ये नहीं सिर्फ बताना कि ये गलत है, ये गलत है, ये गलत है, ये भी बताना कि इसको हम कैसे improve कर सकते हैं. Then you need to use your e-portfolio as a reflective document of setting aside a design and time each year to review and update its contents. आपको हर एक स्टेप पे अपनी टीचिंग प्रोफेशनल लाइफ को बताते हुए हर स्टेप पे you need to reflect back and you need to have a reflective note, and that reflective note will tell कि आपको अगर कोई स्ट्रगल फेस की आपने कोई स्ट्रगल फेस की या कोई प्रॉब्लम आई लाइफ में या किसी खास किस्म के टीचिंग एंड लर्निंग एनवायरनमेंट में आपने सरवाइव किया, तो उसके उससे टेक अवेज क्या थे, आपकी एज अ टीचिंग प्रोफेशन आपके अंदर क्या चीज़ जो है ना वो इम्प्रूव हुई, आपकी पर्सनैलिटी में क्या चीज़ चेंज हुई, आपको क्या इंसाइट्स मिली, क्या आपके लिए आहा मोमेंट्स थे, कहाँ पे आपने स्टक फील किया, कहाँ आपको ऐसा लगा कि अगर ये चीज़ इस तरह नहीं होती बल्कि दूसरी तरह होती तो मैं बेटर परफॉर्म कर देता. तो ये सारा कुछ आपके रिफ्लेक्शंस के अंदर included है, and that should also be included in your e-portfolios. अच्छा, अब आप मेरे से सवाल पूछ सकते हैं, वेयर शुड आई स्टोर माई ई पोर्टफोलियो? चले, लेट्स सी फर्स्ट के यूजुअली प्रैक्टिस क्या है. Many e-portfolios are maintained within a university virtual learning environment and not easily accessed by people outside that VLE. Some well-known products are used for maintaining e-portfolios at universities. These are flexible management systems that provide institutions of higher learning with advanced and user-friendly web-based tools for developing, assessing, and measuring student learning, and more. Universities often do not allow you to have access to the ePortfolio site after you graduate, and your ePortfolio might be archived to an alumni site, and your potential employers will not have that access. There are many programs that you can use to create your e-portfolios. Your university or college may use a different one. It is very important that you keep backups of all your materials you submit to a university-based e-portfolio website. Create more than one backup of your e-portfolio by saving your material to another medium, such as your hard drive, your flash drive, or to a cloud. Remember, each time you update your e-portfolio, such as by adding new artifact, to update your e-portfolio in all locations where it is stored. Also, keep your backups in different locations to prevent total loss due to the fire or unexpected act of natures. Developing fair assessments is one of the challenges that many of us are facing because of a rapid transition to teaching online. Creating and maintaining e-portfolios is one way to offer a fair assessment of students' work over the course of weeks or months. Last fall, I started having my students create e-portfolios, and I'm continuing that now as we all are now moved to a virtual learning environment. Maintaining an e-portfolio provides students with a nice way to show examples of their best work and the process of developing that work. My students are using Google Sites because my university uses G Suite for education. But there are other good options for creating digital portfolios to consider using. Having students write blog posts or create web pages to showcase examples of their best work. When students do this, they should include explanation of why they document, present, video or other artifacts in there as an example of their best work. If I decide to pursue using blogs or websites as portfolios, I uh, I would prefer using Edublogs, Google Sites, Weebly for education और bloggers. अब मैं आपको बारी बारी बताती हूँ कि किस सिनेरियो में मैं कौन सा प्लेटफॉर्म यूज करूँगी. Edublogs को मैं यूज करूँगी for kids who do not have their email accounts or Google accounts because I can manage their usernames and reset their passwords for them. Uh, I usually use Google Sites, and since you're already using G Suite for education, so it becomes very handy because you can import anything from Google Drive into the pages of your Google Sites. It's very easy to update also. Weebly को जब यूज करते हैं जब मेरे पास it's a good choice if I have to make my own my students have to make their own websites but they don't have any G Suite for education. So Weebly for education will let my students create and maintain their accounts. Then Blogger is my last choice of these four options um, because of some of the reasons, but still it is a very solid choice if my students are over the age of 13 and they have Google accounts. Both Seesaw and ClassDojo let you create multiple digital classrooms within your account. In those classrooms, I can assign activities to my students. An activity could be a prompt to add a particular type of artifact to the portfolio. Both systems let students take pictures, record videos, and write explanations of the items that they add to their portfolios. Additionally, Seesaw will let students record themselves talking over pictures that they have added to their portfolios. Both systems were designed with K6 students in mind, but can be used by students of all ages. You really cannot go wrong with either service. We can also try using Wakelet and Padlet together and display examples. Both services will let you embed your galleries into Google Sites and other website builders. Better check how to create a gallery with a Padlet and with Wakelet. So in this lecture, we have seen the importance of e-portfolio for a teacher. We have seen what is professional teaching portfolio and how can we use blogs and websites and other tools for e-portfolios. So after completing the content of this week, you should be able to tell us about curriculum specific learning, the need to change instructional strategies for traditional to new learning environment, importance of computer technology and digital media for education, the need to incorporate 21st century skills in school curriculum, characteristics of today's digital students, 6 categories of what today's students need to know, and last but not the least is e-portfolios. अब आप सबका एक सवाल है जो कि मुझे मैसेजेस भी आ रहे हैं कि आप कंटेंट तो कवर कर लेते हैं लेकिन उसके बाद हमें समझ नहीं आती कि हम करें क्या, तो इसलिए मैं सेगमेंट यूजुअली ऐड करती हूँ व्हाट टू डू नेक्स्ट। जब आप ये लेसन्स कंप्लीट कर लेते हैं हर वीक के, तो आपने कुछ काम करने होते हैं। तो इस वीक जो आपने काम करने हैं वो ये हैं: यू नीड टू एक्सप्लोर डिफरेंट नेशनल एंड इंटरनेशनल एजुकेशनल इनिशिएटिव्स बाय विजिटिंग देयर वेबसाइट्स। देखिए वहाँ जाके कि उन वेबसाइट्स पे कौन कौन से रिसोर्सेज अवेलेबल हैं, कौन कौन सी एक्टिविटीज़ की जा रही हैं। Definitely, you need to explore the resources provided on Google Classroom. कुछ एक्स्ट्रा रिसोर्सेज आपको दिए जाते हैं जिसमें कुछ एक्स्ट्रा वीडियोस जो कि मैंने यूट्यूब से सिलेक्ट की हैं, इसके अलावा कुछ रीडिंग मटेरियल होता है, कुछ फ्री रिसोर्सेज होते हैं, उनको ज़रूर देखें। फिर you should also explore some additional resources given in your textbook. Select one e-portfolio platform of your choice। तो ये जितने हमने प्लेटफॉर्म्स डिस्कस किए हैं इस लास्ट लेक्चर में, इन सबको एक्सप्लोर करें और देखें कि आप कंफर्टेबल क्या हैं। मेरी प्रेफरेंस, पर्सनल जो प्रेफरेंस फॉर स्टूडेंट्स है वो है गूगल साइट्स, लेकिन इसके अलावा अगर आप कोई यूज़ करना चाहते हैं वी कैन डिस्कस, लेकिन हम कोशिश करेंगे कि सारे स्टूडेंट्स एक ही प्लेटफॉर्म यूज़ करें। So at the end of the day, we can consolidate all the data to a single website. इसके अलावा यू शुड स्टार्ट लर्निंग दैट प्लेटफॉर्म। जो प्लेटफॉर्म डिसाइड कर लें कि हमने अपने ई पोर्टफोलियो के लिए ये प्लेटफॉर्म यूज़ करना है, उसको फिर डेफिनेटली आपको लर्न करना पड़ेगा। ऑलरेडी आई हैव पोस्टेड द ट्यूटोरियल फॉर learning how to develop a website through Google Sites। तो अगर आप वो यूज़ करना चाहें तो बहुत इजीली कर सकते हैं। और फिर उसके बाद आप जब लर्न करें तो फिर आप स्टार्ट डेवलपिंग योर ई पोर्टफोलियोज। फॉर द फाइनल प्रोजेक्ट, यानी शुरू में आपने अपनी इंट्रोडक्शन डालना है, अपनी फिलोसफी, अपना रेज्यूमे, वो चीज़ें ऐड करनी शुरू कर दें उसके अंदर. I would also suggest you to please check figure 1-35 under the chapter 1 of your textbook, Teacher Discovering Computers. That provides a checklist of important components to be included when creating an e-portfolio. Your e-portfolio might include all of the items in the checklist or only some of them. It may also include other items relevant to you that are not in the checklist but will be asked to complete your final project. Whatever items you include, be sure that they reflect you, your philosophy of education, and your teaching style. Thanks for listening. I am Dr. Aisha Mahmood, your instructor, facilitator, and mentor.